Hi Sagittarius, here's a general look at your solar chart for October 2012, and until the 23rd there's a progressive feel here. There's teamwork, a feeling of teamwork maybe, definitely a feeling of socializing, friendships, contacts, new contacts, maybe you're connecting with others, but also could be more through the internet or other kinds of technology that you're involved in, and giving your attention to goals, hopes and dreams that you've perhaps had in the back of your mind for a while now, and you're able to plunge in and enjoy doing the thing, or just roll up the sleeves and get on with it. Until the end of the first week, you're likely to be doing things more in a sort of personal, private sort of bubble, or in a background way, or in a supportive kind of way, because that's where Mars is. It's in a very background area until the 7th. But this is a progressive phase, and in general, a governing factor won't be so much what you know as who you know, and what you may achieve together or through your association with them. And a key feature is professional collaborations or social get-togethers, or just some kind of, some sort of collective energy that you are a part of. And this is a good vibration for pooling knowledge, furthering aims, furthering things that you or they or you all have aspired to, and maybe you're learning together with others. This is a time that you can be more innovative as well, break the mold, or in fact see something or find out something which you find quite inspiring. So anyway, this is definitely a time to be getting on with things that you've waited to get on with, maybe for a very long time, maybe for not such a long time, but definitely be flexible and adaptable, which of course your sign is anyway, Sagittarius, and just be flexible in your response. Don't see things too rigidly, but be kind of experimental. This is where the innovative bit comes in, and just sort of perhaps almost like do a bit of window shopping. Now until the 5th, Mercury is in the same area, putting the focus upon furthering your aims through interesting contacts and friends, but also a lot of discussion, a lot of chat, a lot of sort of bouncing ideas off another or each other, tapping into the group consciousness as well over the wires, and definitely finding out things through those sorts of contacts. Discussions and ideas will tend to be future orientated, and you're very much looking to the future. Useful and unusual, maybe unusual, unconventional knowledge or information or experiences could be coming your way. And then from the 5th, Mercury moves and it goes into a very sort of quiet background area. It's going to be followed by the Sun from the 23rd. It's much more introverted, introspective. Your mind tends to be just more pondering, and this is a great time for using your imagination, actually, any kind of artistic work, but also intuitive work, healing work, and anything where you can sort of take yourself off and do your own thing, in your own little place or your own big place. But also emotions may be sensitized. Events or others can push your buttons more easily, and you can be your own worst enemy and react inappropriately or shoot yourself in the foot. So those demons can sort of bob up to the surface. But definitely, if you're aware of that and you're keeping that under control, then a lot of preparation work can be done behind the scenes, or pulling strings from behind the scenes, or work which is kind of healing and intuitive. So you may seem to others a little preoccupied and kind of zoning out from time to time. Also you could feel like things are up in the air, nothing is clear. what if this, what if that, wondering about this, weighing things up. It could be a bit like that, but just keep the faith, listen to your inner guidance, and look beyond perhaps, your own uncertainties, so that you don't get in the way of your own happiness and well-being. Now, in the first week, places and faces at a distance may have more appeal to you. Some of you could be traveling, which is definitely the Saggy thing, or connecting with others at a distance anyway, at least. And there might be quite a personal bond between you and someone in a foreign culture, or somebody who's a long way away. But also it can be centered around, a relationship could be centered around an advice-giving environment, an academic environment, that kind of thing. And someone you connect with may be an expert in their field, and you're glad of their advice. It helps you to sort of get that piece of the jigsaw that you need. So some of you may be using this particular part of the Venus transit, which, if you're listening to this in September, you'll perhaps benefit from this, to get the information that you need, which can then encourage a relationship or benefit you materially. And then from, actually, it moves out of there on the 3rd, so it's not really in this area very long in October, but from the 3rd, Venus moves up to the top of your solar chart, and that means those in positions of power, or at least they've got more power than you have in a certain area, or authority figures, or parental figures, somebody that is in a position to move and shape the world in a way that you can't, will tend to see you in a good light, and give you a bit of a helping hand maybe as well. Could be a facilitator for you and help you to make the right move at the right time in the right direction. But you could also be having an easier or more positive interaction with parents, or anybody, any official, or anybody in a sort of bureaucratic sort of, anything to do with red tape or bureaucracy. And also you yourself could be seen as the one who's in a position to help somebody else, to give them a helping hand and help them up the ladder of success. Now, the big news this month for all the signs is that Saturn is making its move from Libra into the sign before yours, Scorpio. And so this is going to alter the dynamic and the balance for all of the signs. It's been in an area of your chart to do with social circles, friendships, and maybe there's been some difficulty centered around a friendship or a social circle which maybe you felt a little bit on the outside of. And now Saturn is moving out of it. It was in there since 2009, by the way, late 2009, is coming out on October the 6th, and will move into the sign before yours, and will be there finally moving out until, in 2015. And in the new house of your solar chart, Saturn will help you to come to terms with the past, and over the long period that it's going to be there, there will be times when you will be squaring up to some home truths, Sagittarius, and perhaps not shooting yourself through the foot with that arrow of yours, because this is going to be the house of self-undoing, and what goes around comes around, and you could find yourself having to face, sometimes, because it's certainly not going to dominate your whole life, but having to face up to cleaning up your act a little bit. In fact, with all of the planets, particularly the slower moving outer planets like Saturn, it's only when we feel the influence the most is when Saturn's transiting degree connects with one of the degrees in our natal chart for our sun, or an important point in our natal chart, that we feel it the most. Otherwise, it tends to be a background sort of vibration there. So it's likely that you'll have more demand put on you to be a support to somebody else during this long transit of Saturn. But also you need to be mindful of your own boundaries with Saturn there, and not let your energies be drained out, always being there, the willing little helper for others. And definitely it's a time when you can get quite serious about your work behind the scenes, whether that's spiritual work, artistic work, whether that is just any other kind of work, whether it's to do with health, yours or somebody else's, it can be that, or whether it's to do with something to do with spirituality, healing, psychic work, that kind of thing, or anything else that is a project of yours or an interest of yours, and but it's not ready to be. It's not ready to be presented to the world yet, because the house that Saturn's going to be in, this quite serious planet, is a house of preparation, really. So it won't be until Saturn comes into your sign that everything that's gone on in that kind of low-key, behind closed doors area, or much of what's gone on there, not everything, will tend to then come out and be more, in a state to be presented to the world where you'd feel more confident about that. Or in fact, if it's about something else, but you get the gist of it anyway. So your ruling planet Jupiter is expanding you into new areas through partnerships and through close interactions with others up until June next year, whether those are personal, professional relationships. So over the long term, Jupiter is triggering a learning curve, or more travel, or you just having to get your head around more new stuff, because of a relationship, or maybe it's a few relationships, maybe it's the sort of one after the other or whatever, but it's going to be a relationship. So this is going to be through what somebody else who you know is doing. And it also may involve you more with those from foreign lands or very different backgrounds to your own. And did I put the magic word in there? There's likely to be more travel as well. Or at least more connecting with somebody at a distance, you see. Now, until the 7th, Mars, as I said earlier, is in a background area, suggests that you could be working quietly behind the scenes, but very sort of proactively and dynamically behind the scenes. And I say quietly because others might not know how much is going on behind the scenes. And also playing a supporting role to others some of the time, whether you're in the mood or not. And it's appropriate to draw a line in the sand, have stronger personal boundaries, because you need to take some of that space for you, and it's about healing and nurturing as well for yourself, although it might be somebody else is on your mind that needs the healing and the nurturing. And just go in for healing, restful pursuits for yourself whenever you can, because we can't be a good support for somebody else if we're all drained and we've got no fuel left to burn. And so just let something go, whether it is something in the now or something from the past maybe. It might be like that for you, because emotions can be very, very much nearer the surface with this transit. And if you're listening to this in September, it can be going on in September as well. But anyway, let's go back to the future. So you just need to put down that load and let somebody else take the strain. Just do that whenever possible, because your energy is likely to be just a little bit lower with Mars in this background area until the 7th. And then from the end of the first week, from the 7th, Mars goes into your sign, Sagittarius, which generally means an energy boost. And you begin to get more decisive and clearer about things. It starts to increase activity around you. There's probably going to be more hustle and bustle around you. Definitely at the times when Mars is transiting degree connects with a point in your natal chart, Sagittarius. But much of what was up in the air and uncertain, perhaps, or unfinished maybe last month, begins to become clear. And whether you like it or not, you know what the objectives are now, you know what the deal is, and you know what you've got to do about it. Mars likes to initiate new beginnings, so now you're going to be more dynamic and physically active and get on with what needs doing. That's the idea anyway, and you can get a huge amount accomplished. And some of you might even want to be doing stuff for yourself more, because with Mars in your sign, that is actually what you, I won't say should, but very much the invitation's on the table for you to do that. So health, exercise, diet, diet and exercise, I mean health matters, getting checkups or whatever, or getting plunged into situations which demand more leadership from you, physical effort from you, so ditto with the exercise, but just gets you working harder, taking the decision to do the thing, whatever the thing is, and be proactive and just roll up the sleeves and get on with it. The environment might be more centered around the male energy, because it's Mars at that time, and you just watch it, you don't spread yourself too thin, because with so much Mars energy in your sign, you are likely to overstretch maybe. So just be aware of that, but also be aware of coming on a bit too strong, because you won't be backwards and coming forwards with ideas, plans, proposals, and just wanting to get the ball rolling on things. And so you can get on with the program, whatever the program is for you, to improve things. But don't be too hasty and don't be too impatient, because that's Mars's weaker side. Then from the 23rd, the Sun enters the background area of your chart, and you could be keeping yourself to yourself a bit more, playing a supporting role in the background or from the background, and this may be seen as a time of preparation and nurturing as well. Good news for you arty or spiritual Saggies, as it allows you to draw on your dreams, your subconscious, or for you to connect with your higher self and your deeper wisdom, which is always a good thing. And that's it for October. If you are not on my website already, go there and read what is happening with the slow moving outer planets. They don't move or change very much, except when they actually change position, like Saturn's just done, but you'll see the degrees and which part of your sign they're affecting, and this really only goes for the sun sign unless you know your rising sign or your moon sign degree. But also listening to your rising sign or moon sign is useful, because it just gives you an overview, even though you don't know the degree of what, that explains why so and so is going on in my life. And I hope all that helps anyway, and you're not too confused, and I'll see you the next time.